Making freshwater restoration funding decisions easier, the Prone2Success checklist tool. When I thought about the audience for this presentation, I realized that it is all of us. We're all decision makers, and we all fund restoration, be it with our time, our energy, or our money. Through our decisions to work in this field, our decisions to invest in a project, our decisions to choose a project for public or private monies, our decisions to advocate a policy that moves restoration forward, our decisions to develop data systems, do research, waste less, recycle. Whether a personal or institutional decision, all of us make them every day. And we decide how to allocate our time, our energy, our money. All of us face the same daunting challenge: limited resources, many demands and opportunities, and usually only partial certainty as to whether we will be successful. In restoration activities, we often rely on quantitative measures, but they don't necessarily reflect the real value of our efforts to our communities, to our constituents, or even to ourselves. Often we will resort to indicators, which may be the easiest to measure, but not necessarily the most significant. And the more we know, the more we know we don't know. And that can be pretty depressing. The rapid changes in technology challenge all of us to keep up, often forcing us to build silos to reduce the overwhelming proliferation of information. The problem is particularly palpable in freshwater ecosystem restoration, where climate change, the dynamics of flowing water, the plethora of new technologies, research and methodologies mean there are so many alternatives that picking the right solution to any restoration problem gets harder every day, not easier. That's where decision support tools come in. There are loads of them for any configuration. Just look up on Google. You'll find them all over. So why are we at EcoAdvance making another tool to support decision makers like ourselves? Because we believe that while numbers have their place, experts, real people who have experience in successful restorations, can provide the best and most helpful advice about what really matters. We're collecting ideas from the people who have contributed to freshwater ecosystem restoration and cataloging a checklist of what makes projects successful. The Horizon Europe project, EcoAdvance, is building the Prone2Success checklist to support the freshwater restoration community by compressing and organizing thousands of scientific advances, NBS, nature-based solutions, technology innovations, and restoration efforts of the last 20 years into a system that will be less overwhelming and more useful because it will feature advice from over 150 real people. In some cases, they agree across country borders. In some cases, they differ based on climate, on culture, on discipline, on perspective, but they all agree that success in freshwater ecosystem restoration requires resilience, resourcefulness, adaptive management, and time. And most of all, it requires communicating with all the stakeholders, investors, scientists, citizens, and context sensitivity. Appreciating the diversity requires respect of others, both those that focus on the use of freshwater and those that focus on protecting it. Bottom line, they're all ultimately talking about the same finite resource that sustains life on this planet. We focus on the trusted advice of experts from around the world on how to overcome obstacles typical of freshwater restoration projects. We will feature a matrix of factors indexed by climate, cultural, social, economic, and ecological conditions that contribute to success, to project success. So you can choose those most relevant to your specific circumstances and particular project, be it citizen science and monitoring water bodies, laboratory experiments to address fundamental scientific questions, or many, many others. EcoAdvance proposes to carve out a place for people and their experience and perspectives, and thus balance the simultaneous need for scientific precision and cost-benefit analysis with the concurrent understanding that freshwater ecosystems may be priceless treasures whose value is beyond quantifiable. The checklist is based on the personal experience of those who have dedicated themselves to freshwater ecosystem restoration in one way or another. We will bridge the science and the precision of monetary terms of ecosystem services valuations, natural capital accounting, and the biological chemical indicators from the water framework directives, and merge them into the dynamic world and its moving targets, the entangled complexity of practice, and the uncertain reality of implementing restoration projects in the face of flooding, storms, and climate change. The Prone2Success checklist will enable you to check your project and help you decide, does it have the factors that really matter? EcoAdvance is finding the people who understand freshwater restoration best. We call them showcases. The people who implemented successful projects, those who made significant contributions to some aspect of restoration science, those who recreated a degraded freshwater site and converted it into a community recreation resource, and the freshwater champions who've driven policy and innovative programs to support and promote freshwater restoration. These video profiles will constitute a corpus of people-to-people advice on how to navigate the challenges of freshwater restoration and practice in the world of science and climate change. Please join us. If you have experience in freshwater restoration, come to our website and join our consultation. If you have a freshwater restoration story to tell about challenges you faced, factors that you quantified or considered, issues that you've overcome, frustrations you've addressed, we want to hear from you. Come to EcoAdvance to meet other START scientists, freshwater champions, and practitioners who did it. Hear their voices, their perspectives, and share their passion. Thank you.